We have to learn to let go and allow life to happen through us without any judgments, without any preconceived notions, just allowing life to be what it is.
We're finding who we are. We choose between the left and right, the ups and downs, the darkness or the light. We're finding who we are.
There's only one reform in life. When you and I stop living from our heads, you and I are here for one very solid reason, and that is to learn to be loving.
We're finding our way together, just you and me.
Namaste. Welcome to Aspire. I want to talk to you about something that we all have, our BS. Did I say that? Plan to be with us. I'll explain in just a moment. Okay, are we ready? I'm not ready. Are you ready, Greg? Yes, I'm ready. Are you? No? Are you? Ah! I don't know who I am! Okay, I'm ready. Ow! I feel good. Na, 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 na. What are you doing on Sunday mornings? If Socrates had said that, he would have been a really smart guy. Blasphemer! Would you believe this is a religious program? It's not. Around, around, around we go, and all of our beliefs tell us so. Gotcha. What do you think of Aspire? Let things roll, let things happen, let the gods come down and do your thing. Come on, like that. Ooh, baby. Sock it to me, gotcha, 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 gotcha. That was good. Gotcha. Have you ever considered that maybe one of the major problems that we have about humanity and ourselves is all the BS that's going on within us? The word BS, it has a colloquial meaning, doesn't it? And I wonder if you understand what I mean by BS. I think that one of the major problems of our life is BS, but not the one you're thinking of. The BS I refer to as belief systems. So much of our life is contained in the concept of our belief system. Children come into our life, and one of the first things that we want to teach them is beliefs. And we give them a system of beliefs to give them a system of values. Because we think if they don't have this, they won't be able to survive in life. You know, if we have a child and we pass down to that child through heredity some disease like heart disease or arthritis, or maybe something like diabetes, we feel real bad about that. And yet, what I think we pass down to our children in the form of our BS, our belief systems, is a lot worse. Because it's those beliefs, erroneous as they are, that shape and mold the child's life. Consider this idea. A lot of people think that you have to believe in God. Why? Why? I mean, a lot of people believe in God. So, has it changed their life? See, belief as we know it is nothing more than a conviction, an emotional and mental conviction. I can have mental and emotional convictions about everything. I can believe that this person's a bad person and this person's a good person. I can have a mental and emotional conviction about chicken soup, and it doesn't change anything in my life. I just have this belief or this opinion, and that's what I think beliefs are. Nothing more than another way of elaborately saying, this is my opinion about this and this and this. Ministers always like to use the word belief because it charges their followers with emotion. And people think that when they're emotional that they're believing. Like when Jesus said that we had to believe, people think, well, that must mean that I must be emotional about things. Quite the opposite. Because the belief that a Jesus talks about or a Buddha talks about is not the belief that you and I deal with, a mental and emotional conviction or an opinion. It's not something we come to out of logic or reasoning. The kind of belief that Jesus talks about is a trust, a deep, significant trust that does not come with proof because it's written in a Bible or in a Quran or in the Gita or the Upanishads or in the Tao. It's something that you find deep within you. True belief does not come from the mind. It comes from the heart. And just because your mind says, I have to believe in God, does not mean that you and I believe in God at all. How can you believe in something you've never touched, you've never experienced? It's always been my, I don't know, I guess it's been my insight that people who believe a lot are also individuals who doubt a lot. Only people who have great doubt need belief. And if there's great doubt, there is no belief that's going to change anything about the way we experience something. I've dropped my beliefs. I'm working very diligently at that because I'm finding within myself it is those beliefs that I have about what is right and wrong, what is good and bad, who people are and who I think people aren't, who's bad, who's good, that is keeping me from the whole experience of finding out that God is everywhere. As well as within me, God is everywhere. And that's the value. When I have a lot of beliefs, I naturally become very judgmental. What is one of the first things that Jesus told us not to do? To become judgmental. He said, judge not. No one who believes cannot be judgmental. I find in many Western religions today where the idea of belief seems to be a very important subject to people, which is another way of conning and conditioning them to go along with a certain philosophy or support a certain philosophy, that those people are very judgmental. Not only judgmental, but often holier than thou. Belief systems have a way of making us holier than thou, making us think that we're better than other people because I believe this and I believe that and I believe this and I believe that. Is that the belief that Jesus talked about? I don't think so. You find Jesus holier than thou? He said that all men could do the things that he did, and greater works than these shall ye do. How? I go unto my Father, he said. A very important point. He didn't say believe in God, live God. Belief systems are a way in which we use to control each other and to fit into a society and to make each other blend in and appear like everyone else. I bet you I'm charging up some of you, huh? Some of you real believers out there. But the real insult is that you haven't believed in anything. You've only convinced yourself that you believe. Maybe it's time now that we try what real belief is all about. Going inside of ourselves and trusting in the nature of the experience of the presence that lives within us. This is a little heavy, forgive me, but it is beliefs that gotcha. It is beliefs that create the pain and the suffering that you and I often experience in our life. It's a merry-go-round, so to speak, where we go round and round and round and nothing is ever really accomplished. You know why? Because beliefs keep us right where we are. I'll be back in a minute. Don't go away. Trust me, I got more to share with you.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Just believe we can be everything. Aspire.
Well, if you're still there, let's continue on with some insights on beliefs. I'll bet you a lot of you can't hear a word I'm saying because of your beliefs. Your mind is kicking in and trying to say, well, how can he say this and how can he do that and how can he believe this and how can he believe that? The mind kicks in every defense mechanism there is, and you can see how deeply ingrained you are in the opinion of your beliefs by the resistance that you sense about anyone who says to you, hey, maybe beliefs don't work. Maybe beliefs that we have, what we call our BS system, our belief system, is nothing more than our opinions elaborately decorated around religion. I think a lot of people are like that. Belief is an excuse for the opinion for us to feel pompous, arrogant, self-righteous, holier than thou, and more important, right. We Americans are obsessed with being right. And we want to have the right answers in the right way, and we call it our beliefs. What is a belief? If we listen to it like a Jesus would talk about belief, it's a trust. It's written on our money. In God we trust. And that's the key. The trust does not come up here. Real belief comes from within here, from the heart. When we follow the heart, we naturally have the insight and the wisdom that allows us to see and know things that the head could never prove. The way we live, beliefs have to be taught to us. Isn't that ridiculous to think that beliefs have to be taught? How can anyone teach me a belief? Belief should be natural. And when a belief is natural, it brings us wisdom and understanding. I find that most people who believe are terribly insecure and they need to protect their beliefs. Like that boat out there. Everybody's got some knowledge out there, an aircraft carrier of their knowledge and their belief in what they think is right and wrong, good and bad. And then they attack those people whose beliefs are not the same. Is your belief working for you? Look at your life. How has your life changed? Are you deeper within yourself? Do you find it easier to love, to forgive, to have compassion upon those people who don't believe like you? I love what Jesus said. What reward have you if you only love them that love you? In other words, what reward have you if you only tolerate those people who think and believe the way you do? You have none. I hear Christians all the time. They talk about the idea of their beliefs. I have no qualms with that. Everybody's entitled to their beliefs. What I have trouble with is when they look down upon those of us who don't believe like they do or don't have a sense of their belief system. I say believe not, and you will trust, and true belief arises within us. It takes time, meditation, the practice of kindness, compassion. One of my very favorite sayings in Zen is, only don't know. Because when I practice not knowing, the true belief of me begins to arise. Everybody needs to trust, and everybody needs to trust in something that's important to them, that brings them a sense of wisdom and awareness. You won't find that in a book. You won't find that in other people. You will find that within yourself. Let me play a little game with you. What if we found out, and a lot of people wouldn't believe this, but let's just play this game. Play with me, just a minute. I'm going to really threaten you, so hang on to your shirt here. What if we found out that the Bible was a hoax? And it really wasn't written by what people like to say is God or men who were inspired, but it was written by two people in a back room. Would your whole belief about life be crumbled? Would your life fall apart? Would life as you know it, life as you believe it, be crumbled? Now, let's take it a little further. If my life is based upon something in the exterior that somebody else wrote or did or said was authentic, how real does that make my trust, my awareness? It doesn't mean much. It simply means that I trust in what somebody else has said to be true. What about what you know to be true? What about finding out what's within you? We were taught how to love, for example. We were taught how to say thank you and please. We were taught to love our families. We were taught to love certain people who believe like we do, act like we do, who are acceptable as we are. That's not love. That's just pure prejudice. That's blindness. True belief would love all persons, would love humanity just as it is. Those people who are strange and different than us, and those people who are on a different path than the same path that we're on. Love is not prejudice. Love believes. Love is God. And for those people who feel like they have to fight and defend what they believe in, I think you've got a lot of doubt inside. And doubt is never going to be overcome by a mental, emotional conviction or opinion. If you need proof to believe, proof in some book that was written 2,000 years ago, proof in other people, proof in the authority of the scholars of other people, then you have no belief because it can be shaken. The moment that's taken out from underneath you, you have nothing. The real belief of a Jesus comes from within ourself. He knew the Christ that lived within him, and he knew God who lived within him. There was no book written about it. He said, find it within yourself. And if we find it within ourselves, that is the greatest trust and the greatest belief that there is. Don't go away. Be right back. Trust me. Okay, a joke. There's a Catholic priest, a Jewish rabbi, and 2 nuns.
Greg, I now know what the sound of one hand clapping is.
What, Merrick?
The sound after one of your jokes.
Just believe we can be everything.
You know, in my quiet moments when I'm kind of left alone to myself and I'm being rather reflective, it seems obvious to me that a lot of my life has been missed, even though I've been here. I missed a lot of the people and the opportunities and the meaning and the significance of a lot of situations purely because of my BS, the things I believed in, my belief system. And because I had this belief system and it was telling me what to believe in and how to look at things and how to hear things and all of that, I never saw the things that were really happening. I misunderstood and I misinterpreted a great deal of my life. Now, I know for a lot of people that's okay. It doesn't matter that they misinterpret their life. As long as they think they're right, they don't care. But for someone like me, and I think a lot of you out there in the viewing audience, that's not good enough for us. I don't want to keep misinterpreting my life. My life is very important to me. And one of the things I'm beginning to understand is if I have belief systems, I'll never be able to trust what's going on within myself to see and really feel what's going on out here. We filter everything through our mind, and because our mind is so cluttered with shoulds and should nots and judgments and do's and don'ts and taboos and all of that, we never really live our life. We interpret our life. We think about our life, but we never feel it. Feelings are very important. And a feeling can never come from the mind. A feeling comes from the heart. So I want to give you some insight on how to move from the head to the heart a little bit, to dump your BS, so you might find something of a trust in you. First of all, when you begin to trust in your heart, you don't think about what you should be thinking about. Get it? There's no thoughts to have. You move with the trust of your intuition, and you move with the flow of it. You're not waiting for some authority like a minister or a teacher or a philosopher or a politician or anyone to tell you what you should believe in or what you should not believe in. I say to you, don't believe me, find it in yourself. Don't look at me as your authority, look within your heart as your authority. Don't look to a book, look to yourself, because it is you that you are seeking. And it is you, eventually, you and I will find. We will eventually find ourselves if we trust. If you believe, you'll never find yourself. Never. You'll be imprisoned. Most people pour their whole life into beliefs, and those beliefs that they pour their whole life into are their undoing at the end. Kind of like boats. I got a friend who has a boat down here at the harbor. I asked him, I have a phobia about boats. I got to tell you, I do have a phobia about boats. It is one of my beliefs, okay? And I asked him, I said, why do you have this boat? He's always wanting to take me out on the boat, and I always say, no, no, no. And he said, you know, I love my boat. He said, it's a ridiculous hobby, though. He says, it's something that you just pour money into. It's an endless hole where you just pour money into it because it's always broke. Maybe that's what our beliefs are like. They're just boats, attitudes that we pour our whole life into. At the end, they make us sink. We don't suffer for the things we do, dear friends. We're not punished for the things that we do that other people might say are bad or wrong. We are, so to speak, if I may use this, we are the victims of our own beliefs. Those things that we believe in eventually undo us. The things that you think are so right are the things that make our life so wrong. So we have to begin to look at ourselves and ask, do I need to be right all the time? Why is it that everybody is so right? And if everybody's so right, why is the world so wrong? Why is it that we have so much trouble going on in our world? It's because of beliefs. Now, I know what your argument is, and I can hear you. Well, if we didn't have beliefs, what would we have? How would we do the things we do? We got to have beliefs to keep people from doing things that would hurt each other, da, 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 da. You know, when a person works with their heart, they don't need a belief. They don't need me to tell you don't kill someone, don't steal from someone, don't be dishonest. You wouldn't do it because you understand that whatever you and I do, we do to ourselves. What I do to you Ultimately, I'm doing to myself because it's going to come back on me. That's the I gotcha of it. And if you begin to understand that, you wouldn't do anything to another person. You wouldn't give anything to another person. You wouldn't do anything to another person that you wouldn't want done to yourself. Jesus didn't come on this planet to give you beliefs. He wasn't here to make you moral, to make you right, to make you Christian, Hindu, or Buddhist. He came that we might know the truth, and the truth would set us free. The truth is not in beliefs, as we know them, as an intellectual set of concepts, of opinions and philosophies. Belief is that superb trust in ourself, the very core of the splendor of us and the beauty of us. And if we practice a little meditation, and we begin to drop our beliefs a little bit and flow with our heart, trusting in how we feel, not what we think, we find that something new arises in us, feelings. And the feelings are the thing that take us home to our heart. Thanks for being with us. Gotcha. Okay, see, there's a story about this Pope, and he was in this elevator, okay? And this guy walks in and he says to the Pope, he says, I want to tell you a couple of Polak stories. And the Pope says, do you know who I am? And he says, wait a minute, Pope, don't worry about it, I'll go slow.
Sound of one hand clapping again, Greg.
I'm so grateful you chose to be with us again on Aspire. I hope the teaching on beliefs helped you a little bit, helped you understand what belief is and what it isn't. It's a trust in you. It's not a mental and emotional concept. And for those of you who got a little angry at the whole thing, well, good for you. Maybe you'll understand that if I can threaten your beliefs to such a degree that this upsets you, then you really don't have any belief at all. And for those of you who are starting to work upon yourself, maybe you'll begin to understand that it's trust that we need to develop and not some sort of head knowledge. Thanks for letting me be with you, and I hope you're enjoying the series on I Gotcha. And remember one little thing, you don't have to believe what I say. Practice a few of the things I've offered and see if a change does not occur in your life. It's not important what you believe in, it's important where you believe from. It's not from the head that we get life, it's from the heart. Life lives from the heart. And now I'm going to be able to get off this boat. Thanks for being with us. Namaste.